The Cam Thomas headlines continue to dominate the Nets nation in terms of news, and days removed from his qualifying offer, more analysts are coming out with their raw reactions to Cam Thomas's bold move to take his $6 million qualifying offer and return for what seems to be one final year in Brooklyn. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Brooklyn Boys Show. Josh Woolever here with you on Monday, September 8th of 2025. Smash like and hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. On your way into the building, it helps us grow tremendously right here on the show, helps pump out this content to fellow Nets fans and keeps you engaged in the community. So like and subscribe. The best way to grow, we are just 50 subscribers away. We've officially hit 450 subscribers as of yesterday. Thanks to you guys, thanks to this community, we continue to grow. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Means a ton, but the real milestone here is 500 subscribers. Once we can get there, we can start to get monetized. All you guys in the chat, appreciate you. If you're in the chat live, say what's up right over there. Like, subscribe, but chat things up. I want to hear your reactions, comments, questions, thoughts. Throw those right there for me to react to in just a short little while. But before we can get into any Cam Thomas news or headlines, we have to talk a little bit about Zaire Williams, who officially inked the reports of a 2-year, $12 million deal with a team option on the second year. We've been waiting for this move to happen, like Day'Ron Sharp's situation. They had a handshake deal. They'd agreed to terms, but the pen put to paper officially earlier this morning for Zaire Williams, so congrats to him. He re-ups with Brooklyn for a guaranteed one and then a team option on the second year, so we'll see. I'm guessing Jordy Fernandez and this Nets team picks up that second-year option, considering it's only going to be $6 million against the cap. And barring anything crazy like an unforeseen injury or just awful basketball, but that's not the brand of basketball that Zaire Williams plays. He's a scrappy hustler, great defender, uses his length and his size to his advantage on that end of the floor, can hit a couple big threes for you when you need him to. So Zaire Williams, an overall plus. You love to see it. You love that Sean Marks finally got Zaire Williams to put pen to paper earlier today, and that begs the question that once you pay Cam Thomas $6 million, you've officially inked Zaire and Day'Ron Sharp for $12 million apiece over the next 2 years each, and you still got cap space to work with. So will this Brooklyn Nets team spend that elsewhere? But of course, we're here to talk about the great Lucas Kaplan of Nets Daily, friend of the show, who Connor has had on before. Put out an awesome article earlier this week for Nets Daily where the title is Cam Thomas believes in himself more than the Brooklyn Nets do, but it is really about how fascinating this entire situation is and his idea of taking it and banking on his upside. So without further ado, let's get into that. Let's react to that. I see Claude in the chat. Claude, appreciate you. If you want to get on the action, like, subscribe, and then head over to the chat to throw your questions, comments, and thoughts. A strong opening statement here. Quote, "The relationship is done. Cam Thomas accepted the qualifying offer in an effort to take full control of his career, a career that will not be set in Brooklyn for much longer. He has watched peers' future on playoff teams and signed contracts that approach $40 million in annual value, only to complete his rookie contract to collect dust in the bureaucratic hell of restricted free agency. As the franchise grew up in declines to play him what he's owed." Initial thoughts here. I think I really like what Lucas Kaplan is getting at here and saying that the restricted free agency market is just insane this year, and that these guys are coming into the season and the teams are nowhere near where they're looking at contractually. So these guys and the teams are so far apart. Obviously, Cam Thomas the headline, but Josh Giddey, Andrew Wiggins, it's happening everywhere around the NBA, and it begs the question of, are guys in the representative agencies going to intimately try to avoid restricted free agency coming up in the future of the NBA? Because when you're there and you're like the Nets with one team that has the salary to pay you, you are in a hellhole where you have no options but to either take your QO, which Cam Thomas ended up having to be stuck with, or you're taking no money wherever you go, whether you somehow sign a contract, but that team's just gonna tag you right back because they have the rights to with the restricted free agency. It just seems like an absolute dumpster fire to head into restricted free agency these days. And Cam Thomas, if he doesn't get hurt last year, we're talking about a completely different scenario. But he did get hurt. So it wasn't his time to get the huge payday. And I think Lucas Kaplan's right when the other guys in this 2021 draft class he sees succeeding. It's gonna hurt him. It's gonna be a little bit of a stab when you look around the league and see a Jalen Green getting paid $33.33 million a season, and Cam Thomas is getting 6 this upcoming year. That's gonna hurt. There's no other way around it. But Cam Thomas, man, it feels like you got to trade him at this point. Let's get in to the big bulk of the article here from Lucas Kaplan of Nets Daily. If you haven't read it, make sure you read it right after the show. A great article, I do recommend, but we'll break down most of it. He says maybe Brooklyn and Thomas did return to the negotiating table. Maybe they didn't. In any case, it appears both the Nets front office uh, underestimated just how serious Cam Thomas was here and how willing he was to leave millions of dollars on the table. Self-confidence has never been the problem with him, and other league sources are anything but surprised. And we talked about it originally when he signed the QO, that his representative agency probably didn't make the best decision for him here. But you gotta be sort of Cam Thomas in their ear, telling him what his best future looks like and what he would want to do if it were up to him and money aside. And I don't think that's inking a long-term deal with the Nets at this point, especially not if they're going to quote unquote disrespect him with the amount of money they were presenting him with. So he wants to get the heck out of Brooklyn. And Sean Marks was playing the stale card and not moving anywhere. He was playing the poker face, and then Cam Thomas turns around and says, "All right, you want to play the poker face game? You don't want to settle up? You don't want to negotiate with me? That's fine. I'll take the QO. You can either trade me or get the heck out of here as fast as I can in free agency." And that's something that I don't think that the front office and the Nets, of course, it was in the back of the mind, but I don't think that's what Sean Marks thought was evidently, the highest opportunity of happening. Cam Thomas did not walk away from this empty handed. And he basically showed Sean Marks who's boss here. Because I think Sean Marks was suspecting Cam Thomas to turn around, not get the money he was thinking he got. And then come the end of September, come the media day, come the training camp, he turns around, he signs a little short deal because Cam Thomas had given in and he'd realized his market wasn't there. But he really showed him that's not how this is going to go down. I'll take the QO and screw you guys. So I actually don't think that Sean Marks was expecting this. And obviously, you see, next paragraph, Cam Thomas, get the QO to no surprise. Can't imagine how many shots he's going to take this year. Quoted one league source. And Cam Thomas was bold with it. Lucas Kaplan continues to write, he drew his line in the sand on Thursday right on top of the qualifying offers dotted line. Whether or not Brooklyn can find a trade partner that suits all three parties this season, including CT and his no trade clause, Thomas's Nets career is coming to a close. We have arrived at the epilogue, and what a strange epilogue it will be. As the above source suggests, Thomas will likely want to take 1 million shots this year, boosting his value in unrestricted free agency the best way he knows how. But how different, really, could that look from the way he normally plays? And with his no trade clause, Cam Thomas has the right to veto whatever he wants. So you send him to the Charlotte Hornets. He doesn't want a ball jack there alongside LaMelo Ball. Boom, trade's not happening. You want to send him to a team that's interested like the Rockets, but Cam Thomas somehow has bad blood with KD. Boom, it's not happening. So again, Cam Thomas has the veto power in this situation, and he gets to tell the Nets front office where or where not he wants to be traded. And that does put them in a sticky situation in terms of being able to get negotiating and bargaining powers from the other teams for a return trade. So that's why it'll be tough. But Let's continue to read here. The more interesting question is what the hell the Nets have to gain from having Thomas on the court. This is the big one, folks. At all in 2025 and 26. What benefit does it provide to the Brooklyn Nets to have him play a single minute ahead of any of their other rookies? Dariq Whitehead especially. Keon Johnson, I can't agree. And Keon Johnson for that matter. He's better than those guys, you might say. Well, they're tanking. What else? So they need to lose games. And they also need to have Cam Thomas be able to be a trade partner. And if you don't play him, that again gives negotiating powers to the other teams. You're trying to get on the line for Sean Marks. So this all ends up working against the Nets in the grand scheme of the trade. The only thing that doesn't is they have Cam Thomas, the player. But Cam Thomas has veto rights. The Nets might not even play him. And the other teams get to go hunting for a guy who can just tell the Nets he doesn't want to go there. So, obviously, the teams are going to compile a less big package. Let's say, he finally agrees to go to the Raptors. Raptors are going to compile a less compelling package than before because Cam Thomas has already shut down the other 5 trade options the Nets had. So the Nets are really going to be screwed in terms of if they want high value back for him. And I think at this point, you take what you can get because there's no point in keeping him around. There's no point in giving him 30 minutes a night. There's no point in paying him $6 million to not see the court once. You take what you can get, and I have no clue what that is. And it's going to be extremely interesting, so interesting. One of the bigger storylines to follow here for the Nets. Even in the unlikely scenario, says Lucas Kaplan, Sean Marks and co still view Cam Thomas as the long-term future. Shouldn't Brooklyn try to suppress his minutes and continue and counting stats, as Eric Slater and Michael Scotto pointed out in their reaction video. And this is the Jordy Fernandez decision part. I am morbidly fascinated to see how the Cam Thomas saga develops this season. He and the Nets are now searching for a completely different outcomes in the 2025-2026 season. What could meeting in the middle possibly look like? I do not envy Jordy Fernandez. Boy, I tell you. I suppose this was the inevitable ending for Cam Thomas and the Brooklyn Nets. It's not that the team never believed in him. They drafted him after all. It's that the Brooklyn Nets didn't believe in Cam Thomas the way Cam Thomas believes in Cam Thomas. Then again, maybe nobody does. The minutes situation is even almost more compelling, shall he be here by the end of training camp, than is the trade scenarios. In the trade scenarios, you'll get some low-level picks back. You'll find a suitor. You'll maybe be able to take on a salary dump. Again, it's not on the team in 2-3 years. You make a pick. Who knows if it pans out? But regarding the minutes, that might be an even bigger decision. When it comes to, do you play him all the time and raise his trade value? But in that case, the team probably gets better, ruins the tanking cause, and the rookies behind him can't play. Or do you sit him, try and ruin his life because he didn't agree to terms with you earlier in the offseason, let the rookies develop ahead of him, less of a trade value. But at the end of the day, you're paying a guy $6 million to not play. Smash like and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Appreciate you tuning in. If you're new to the channel, it is free. It is much appreciated. Subscribe, leave a like, hit up the live comment section right there to throw questions, comments, and thoughts right there. If you haven't done so yet, like and subscribe. Appreciate you all tuning in on a beautiful Monday, September 8th, my first day of school. It went pretty well, thanks for asking. But allergy season is still here. And when allergy season calls, allergy season comes. Like a freight train coming down the tracks with no brakes. But nonetheless, I really appreciate you guys right here on the Brooklyn Boys Show. It is a live edition, Monday, September 8th, fresh off Lucas Kaplan's awesome article for Nets Daily. And I'll go back to the bulk section here to talk a little bit about this middle situation here. And the fact that what does Brooklyn have to gain from playing him and the minutes situation? But also, Cam Thomas if he's on the court, does he even want the Brooklyn Nets to win a game if he's on the court? Like, if I can't even imagine a guy playing for a professional sports team and wanting the team to lose this bad. I can't imagine it. Unless it's Jonte Porter and he has his own under. It's unimaginable. Because in my head, I'm playing out the scenario. If the Nets are in transition and Cam Thomas is taking it up the court and he has a 2-on-1 situation, why would he not just pull up from 30 feet away? That's exactly what he's going to do. And there's going to be no one to stop it. What are you going to tell him? Hey, Cam, hit the cutter. It's an easy layup. 2 points for the team. That's what you're going to tell him? He's going to say, great. I don't care about this team. I want to get out of here. And this team winning doesn't mean anything to me. And it doesn't do anything for my future. So I'm just going to pull up in transition. I'm going to play lackadaisical defense, which, by the way, even if he was giving full effort defense, I mean, who even knows what that looks like? No bueno regardless. He's going to give minimal effort defensively. He doesn't want this team to win. He is not going to make team-oriented decisions on the offensive side of the ball. He's just going to shot chuck even more than we've seen him in the past. And if you think the Michael Porter Jr., Cam Thomas situation is going to mesh well, I just can't agree with you. A guy that came in looking to take the next step, 0-time All-Star Michael Porter Jr., looking to take his next step. Jordy Fernandez at this point has handed him the reins of this offense and said, go out there, score 27 points a night. You'll maybe be a trade asset if we can find someone to take your salary on. You will probably not be here by the time this team is competing for championships when Yegor Gioman's a vet. But you get the reins to this offense for the 2025-26 season. There's nobody else here that can score the ball quite like you can. But then, a couple months later, you're like, hold the phone, Michael. Hold the phone, Michael. We got Cam Thomas on the qualifying offer, and he's playing for his NBA career. And we want you guys to spread the wealth, spread the rock around. How is he going to react to that? He hasn't even played a game in the Nets, and they're already sending him all these mixed messages. But, by the way, not even to mention all the hate he's been getting from the media. That's not even a part of this. And then Cam Thomas is literally just going to want to score 30 points a night and leave and not pass the ball. You think Cam Thomas' assist numbers have been bad in his career? Just wait until he literally shoots every shot he can and then come back to me and tell me the assist numbers were bad in his prior years. It's going to be funny. It is going to be very, very funny. Efficiency is going to go down. Points are probably going to go up if he gets the minutes that he thinks he deserves. But team down, and you could even, this is so befuddling that you could even make the argument that having Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. out there at the same time is good for the tank. Like, because you cannot run a good offense with those two guys on the floor unless you really want MPJ to step back in a role that I'm not sure he's willing to take on for this Nets team. It's just utterly shocking and confusing on all levels. And if Cam Thomas wants his NBA career to continue, he has to fill up the stat sheet here. I want to trade Cam Thomas before the season, so I don't have to worry about any of this. I don't want to do the minutes game. I don't want to do the points game. I don't want to do the what is he doing with his teammates game. Can you just get him out before media day, Sean Marks? Please. Please. When the training camp doors open, I do not want to see Cam Thomas here. Because you're going to screw it up no matter what way you go about it. I met you before, Sean Marks. Not literally, but I've seen the way you negotiate before, Sean Marks. This cannot end well. And you absolutely cannot let Cam Thomas play out this contract on the last season and then just get no value for him. And trade him at the deadline. Great, he's had a bad first half. Great, you're getting no value for him. Please, the only way. I've been saying you got to trade him, but it has to be before the deadline. It has to be. Don't let him try to work up his value. Things can only go south from here. Sean Marks, sign it off. Go tell Cam Thomas, we love you, man. You were great for the team. Sorry we treated you like crap, but you're out of here because we think you're better off on another team. And it would be unfair to put you in the situation we're in. That would be the nicest way of going about it. I'm sure that's not how it's going to go down. But yeah, you got to trade him because if you don't, God forbid him and Michael Porter Jr. are both shot chucking. So I'm going to start feeling bad for Nick Claxton and Yegor Gioman to have to deal with this in the locker room. Hey, things can only go south. Smash the like button and hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I see a couple of you guys in the chat. I'd like some more names popping up there if you haven't done so yet. Say a quick hello in the chat. We'll get to all of your questions, comments, and thoughts in just a quick second. We'll take a break, come right back here. You're listening to the Brooklyn Boys Show, live on YouTube.
You are listening to the Brooklyn Boys Show with your host, Connor Long. If you're enjoying the show, drop us a sub and leave a like. It helps more Nets fans find us. Quick break, then back to talking Brooklyn Nets basketball.
Today's episode of the Brooklyn Boys Show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Shoreline Sports Cards, located at 137 Main Street in Port Washington, New York. Whether you're chasing the newest hobby boxes, grabbing singles, or just want to talk cards with fellow collectors, Shoreline is the spot. They've got a massive selection across basketball, football, baseball, and more, with new inventory hitting the shelves every single week. If you're local, make sure to stop by the shop at 137 Main Street in Port Washington and check it out for yourself. If you're not in the area, no worries at all. You can still keep up with Shoreline by following them on Instagram, eBay, and whatnot for product drops, live breaks, deals, and hobby updates. All links are right in the description down below. Huge thanks to Shoreline Sports Cards for supporting the show and the Brooklyn Nets community.
You are listening to the Brooklyn Boys Show live on YouTube, Monday, September 8th. First day of school edition, baby. You guys are the best sticking with us right here on the program. It is Zaire Williams payment day. How you Nets fans feel about that? It is Cam Thomas. Keyword, the continued reactions. Guys, if you're listening live or listening after the fact, we have a ton of sick guests coming up. The next of which will be this Wednesday. So a day from tomorrow, mark your calendars. We'll be having an awesome guest on, a fellow Nets content creator. Won't spoil too much here on the show, but just a little bit of a hint here. If you haven't watched the interview with Colin Simmons, go take a look at that. But just a absolute ton of amazing content coming your way. So if you haven't done so yet, click subscribe. We are just 50 away from 500. That is the big milestone, folks. We got to 450 yesterday with NFL season kicking off. Beautiful Sunday. We are 50 away, from 500 subscribers. You guys are the best. We know we can hit it. We're looking to do that before training camp. I think we can do it well before training camp. Smash like and hit subscribe again. But more importantly, throw your questions, comments, and thoughts right there. My camera's twisted around. If you haven't done so yet, and I will react to all of those right now. How you feeling about Zaire? How you feeling about Cam Thomas? We'll start at the top. Claude Smith is in the chat. Appreciate you tuning in. Claude, I think CT should have taken $30 million, 2 years, second season team option deal, Claude. It's crazy to think that Cam Thomas values a no trade clause, the ability to waive any trade he wants, and to have control of where he plays this season, over $15 million this year, or $11 million up to in incentives with 9.5 guarantee last year. It's insane to me. You're looking at doubling your money there with the 1 year option. I absolutely think that Cam Thomas was misrepresented in all of this mess. $30 million for 2 seasons, so 1 year, 15 makes all the sense in the world. I don't think the Nets would have picked up the team option. Depends what direction they're looking at. But Claude, good point. I mean, how do you possibly turn that down if you're Cam Thomas? If you're his representative agency, it just makes no sense. Keem D, new chatter in the building. Appreciate you tuning in, D. I think you are at least. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Keem D says, trade him to the Lakers, baby. And look, I'd be fine. I don't care where the trade destination is. I'm sure Cam Thomas would absolutely love Los Angeles. Go play with LeBron. Go play with AD. Go have a young, innovative, offensive-minded guy as your head coach. Go play under JJ Redick. That's fine with me. And I don't think Cam Thomas would veto that trade. So, Keem D, you got yourself a deal here. Give me Austin Reeves. Give me Dalton Connect would be appreciated. It's probably going to be tough, but Dalton Connect for Cam Thomas. 1-for-1 swap. I would do that in a heartbeat. I would do Cam Thomas, a Dalton Connect package. Absolutely. And I think the most important part is that Cam Thomas would genuinely be happy going to Los Angeles. There would be zero reason for him to use and exercise that no trade clause, because after all, it's a contending team, and that's the one thing that if at all fails, the one thing that the Brooklyn Nets cannot give you this season is contention for an NBA Finals trophy. So you trade him to LA, problem solved right there, and I think Sean Marks would be more than fine with it. I would be more than fine with it. Keem D, appreciate you tuning in nonetheless. Claude Smith, one would figure that Sean Marks would have figured out all these ramifications of CT's decision in advance. Like were they not talking? Like, were they playing the game where at the beginning of the offseason, they sat down, they couldn't come to terms, and they said, all right, call me back when you can make me a better offer, and they both never called each other back? It's like, I can't believe this is how it went down. Because at the beginning of the offseason, they were still at that time the only team in the league that had anywhere close to the money to be able to pay him. I thought it was going to be a walk in the park. And now the fact that we sit here on September 8th and the team still hasn't spent the money, like, okay, if you're not going to spend the money, what are you going to do with it? How about you do something with it? How about you do something with it, Sean Marks? It's like Cam Thomas's agency and Sean Marks had no clue what each other was thinking. No clue. And you're right, Claude. I just can't believe that this team didn't find a way to figure it out at the beginning. And it just got uglier and uglier and uglier as the days went on. And we finally culminate with that. Couple more here before we go. Already past the 9 o'clock hour on the show. We'll take a couple more chats. If you got any more, you can throw those in there. The position that Cam Thomas was in was the Nets' diplomatic way of saying goodbye. Absolutely. Because, again, if they wanted to get the deal done, they would have gotten the deal done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Because, again, Sean Marks, there was no restraints. I get there was no market for him. But if they wanted him, if they wanted to keep him around, if they didn't want to disrespect him, would have been done. Would have been done. Maybe Cam Thomas will sign with the Knicks just to piss Joe Tsai and Sean Marks off. That would be classic Nets. Classic Nets right there. The team that quote unquote runs this city, and I hate to say that as a Nets fan, but you see it when the Knicks come to Barclays Center, and it's what, a 70-30 crowd? If maybe it's 60-40, but the Nets fans just not even close to cheering as loud as the Knicks fans. So it almost feels like a neutral site game, where neither team is the home team. That's how much the Knicks are able to counteract the Nets fans. It truly does feel like a Knicks home game when they're at the Barclays. So yeah, that would sure do it for me. And I'm sure Joe Tsai and Sean Marks would not be necessarily pleased to see their once star player and face of the franchise leave to their crosstown big brothers. Note on Joe Tsai, I don't know how much he knows about basketball. Obviously, he owns the Nets and the Long Island Nets, but I couldn't tell you. Does he know what the Cam Thomas situation is? He's probably running a rich Chinese business. I couldn't tell you that. Sean Marks for sure, though. Sean Marks at least claims to know how to run a basketball team. I think Cam Thomas will have an axe to grind with the Nets for the remainder of his NBA career. If his NBA career continues to be long, this Nets team shuts him down on the bench the whole year, no team pays him, they don't find a way to get him out of there and can't find a new home, playing for close to what he got this year on the QO. I mean, there's no guarantee his NBA career lasts more than 2 years, but best believe as soon as he gets the opportunity, and he's hoping it comes soon, best believe as soon as he gets the opportunity, he gets back in the Barclays Center, Claude. My goodness. It is going to be, I'm sure, lights out shooting. He is going to go full Kobe and drop 81 on the Brooklyn Nets. He will have a Linsanity run of his own when he returns to the Brooklyn Nets building with fire in his bones and fire in his body. I think he has a passion-keen dislike for the Nets in their front office right now. And that's why if he is at all on the court, it is going to be beyond an interesting storyline to follow. And we'll have that and everything throughout the season covered, whether it be pregame, postgame shows, live reactions to trade, buzz rumors like this, reactions, analysts, and special guests heading onto the show. This is a place that you want to be for all things Brooklyn Nets coming up this season and always. So smash like and hit subscribe like Claude, who says very good show. Claude, you already know it, but the best way to support the channel is to hit like and to hit subscribe. Share this video with friends and family. Let them know about the great work we're doing here. It truly goes a long way. 50 subscribers away. We are so close. Plateaued a little bit in the offseason. We are so close as preseason continues to ramp up. I'm sure the channel growth will too. So you guys are the best. We talked about the Zaire Williams officially in the books earlier today. Congrats to Mr. Zaire Williams. Him and Day'Ron Sharpe are the two latest Nets confirmed on their 2-year, $12 million contracts. Team option on the second for Zaire. Lucas Kaplan of Nets Daily's articles on Cam Thomas's qualifying offer. But for now, I am Josh Woolever from the Brooklyn Boys Show saying so long and good night, Brooklyn Nets fans. You guys are the best. Let's go, Nets. See you soon, Nets fans. Like, subscribe. You all the best. Peace.